Hey all, this is Max from maxEmbedded, and I'm gonna show you what happens when Raspberry Pi boots up for the first time. So I start with plugging in the power supply, and there you go. It starts booting up, and let's see what shows up on the screen. Well, you see lots of messages popping up, and that's fine, that's normal. Goes on, and well, when the Pi boots up for the first time, it takes a while for it to uh, get ready, gets all set up, and then it shows you the software configuration. So once you get this screen, you can choose from several options that's available. And the first thing that we'd like to do is to expand the file system so that it takes in all the space, free space available on your SD card and fills it up with the file system so that you can store more in it. So, and there you go. We need to do it. So we need to press OK. If you want to change the user password, by default it's Pi. And if you want to change the default password for the default user, you can do it. By default, the password is Raspberry. We'll let it remain that way. And this is about Scratch. We'll leave this. Enable camera, not needed. Overclock. We'll learn about overclocking a little later. And advanced options. In advanced options, we need to make sure that SSH is enabled. And by default, it's enabled for Raspbian. But still then, we just want to be sure that it's enabled so that you can always log into it remotely. Alright, I suppose that's it for now. We can always access it later by typing raspi-config, raspi-config in the terminal window. I'll show you how. And we finish. And let's reboot it. And it's rebooting. And whoops, there you go. So let's wait. Okay, there you go. It asks for your login over here. So we type the login ID as Pi and the password, which doesn't show up, but you still need to type. It's Raspberry. And there you go. You're logged in right now. So you're kind of logged in, and the next thing that you'd like to do is to start the desktop environment. For that, you simply need to type start X, and there you go. It starts the desktop environment. Alright, you're all set. We have the mouse over here and everything. And as I promised you earlier that I'll show you how to access Raspberry config again. So we'll go to LX terminal over here and double click, and once the terminal opens up, we will type in Raspberry config -config. Oops, sorry, we need to type in sudo Raspberry config. Alright, and this brings up the same screen, same thing that we had earlier, and you can change these settings later on whenever you want, as per your requirement. So yeah, that's it. How to get started with Raspberry Pi. And one more thing is how to shut it down. So the simple way would be to click over here on the bottom right corner, and there's an option of logging out. So we just click log out, and it brings you over here back to where we started. But it simply closes the desktop environment. It doesn't shut down your Raspberry Pi. So for that, you need to type in sudo halt. And if you want to reboot it, you just type sudo reboot, and it shuts down your Raspberry Pi. So yeah, make sure you turn off your Raspberry Pi every time you switch it on. Just don't plug it out. Just don't disconnect it directly. It's not good. It's just not good. All right, so that's it. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.